And then a couple of years ago, some of the workers at Disneyland reached out to me, and my great uncle was Walt. My grandfather was Roy Disney. We went there a lot as kids, and I have such affectionate memories of being there with my grandfather. He was a lovely man. And one of the things he always said to us was, "Don't you dare disrespect those people who work at the park. They work so hard." And so that was really important to him. And everybody knew him by his first name, and he knew everybody else. And it was a really warm relationship. So in 2018, when I got an email or a message on Facebook from some of the workers saying, they won't even negotiate with us. We're making $11 an hour. I can't feed my family, those kinds of things. I knew enough about the world to know that was happening at almost every company. I had never wanted to go toward the family company as a way of this crusade of making things fair. It always felt too big and too scary for me to try to take on. But I had a long think about it. My first reaction was to tell him, well, I can't help you. There's nothing I can do. And I thought, well, that's not the most honest answer. And I had to admit to myself there wasn't nothing that I could do, and then aren't we all challenged in life to figure out if it's not nothing, then what is it? And I started to talk about it more publicly. First of all, in the context of the CEO's salary, which his compensation for that year was, now I'm forgetting the number, but it was $25 million or something crazy like that. And, it seemed like a good way to bring some focus on just how obviously, viscerally wrong this was. And when that started to get some traction, it felt like, well, okay, so let's talk about this. What do? I make films. So I started a film about it, and it came out in 2022 at the Sundance Film Festival. It was called The American Dream and Other Fairy Tales. And it was an attempt to kind of put together, Disney's such an interesting company because basically everything about American business is right there in that company. Everything, every labor problem, every copyright problem, everything. And they do so many different businesses. And then everything about Americans and what they think about themselves is there in that company too. Every fantasy we have, every fear we have. It feels like if you're going to talk about America and its super ego, that Disney is a perfect place to go. And so we tried to kind of weave a story together of, first of all, what happened at Disney, what I remember as opposed to what exists now, what is life like for workers there now, and then to weave it together with the story of American history, and especially American corporate history in the way in the last 50 years it's radically changed, and has amount to a massive change in the personality of the country we live in. I mean, I can remember it being a different country. That has kind of led me to where I am right now, which is to say, well, okay, you've looked at your family, and I've done as much as I could, and I'm proud to say they got up to $18 an hour and then a 42% raise from there. So I'm proud of that.